Back when I made these grippy pads, I used a Phillips screw to raise the work above the surface. That way you can finish two sides of a project. A user mentioned buying some of these set cone screws, but today I'm going to show you how you can make your own. To get started, I have two 1x4s here, and they're about 6 inches long. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make our drill line. We'll use a square, and we're going to go about a little over halfway, so about 2/3 the way, like that. The set screws that I have here are 1/4 inch in diameter, and they're about 5/8 inches long. I found a tube that will fit this set screw perfectly. The inside diameter of this tube is 1/4 inch. So now we're going to want to check the outside diameter to see how big of a drill bit we need. And 0.276. If I look at my little chart here, 0.276, if we round up to the next, 0.281, that's going to be 9/32 of an inch. So I've got a 9/32 of an inch drill bit here. On this side of the line, I'm going to go in about 2 inches. So right about there. I'll chuck the drill bit into the drill. And this is a brad point bit, and I recommend those. I think that they just work better with wood. And I'm going to put it right on that mark. We could use an awl to mark it, but I'm not worried about it. What we're going to do now is we're just going to go a little bit in and stop. So about there. If we unscrew our chuck, it should stand up. Now we'll line up the other block behind the first one. We'll take our square and we're going to put it right up against the drill bit. This is a perfect 45-degree angle. Now we'll grab a hammer and we're just going to tap it in a little bit so that it kind of gets stuck in the wood. Pull that away and it looks like it's kind of stuck. I'll go ahead and hammer it just a little bit more. We want to keep the drill bit as straight with the line that we drew. We'll take a drill and we'll put it back in very carefully and tighten it up. And now I'm going to drill a little bit and stop. I don't want to drill into my workbench. And I'll put it on top of the other one and I'll drill through. Doesn't really matter if you drill into the second one. Now we've got our hole that's at an angle and our rod should fit right in there, just like that. We're gonna go ahead and cut this off right there. I'll take my hacksaw and I'm just gonna cut it at an angle, and you're gonna wanna leave just enough that it's sticking out on the other side. I do recommend picking up aluminum and not using steel. And I'll break that off. So we've got it mostly flush on one side and then sticking out on the other side. We'll mix up a little epoxy. We only need enough to cover the aluminum rod. So not very much. Go ahead and pop this out now. We'll add epoxy. And we're going to just slide that back through. Clean out any epoxy on the other side. So this block is done, but we'll set that aside and we're going to add some glue to the second block. And I'm going to take the line that you see that's the 2/3 up, and I'll place the edge right on top of that glue. I'm just going to let that sit and dry, just like that. We'll give it about 3 hours and we'll come back. This is cured and dried, so I've brought it over here to my sander. I'm going to take the end with the little nub on it, and I'm going to go to the left side, the part of the disc that spins downward, and I'm going to press it up against this until I clear away the tube so that the wood is flush against the sandpaper. And as you can see, it cleaned away the little leftover. I've got a 1/4 inch drill bit here, and I'm just going to go ahead and clean out the inside of the tube. So now we have a clear access from this side to the back. I'm going to go ahead now and take this and put it up against the disc, and I'll clamp it down. My set screw has an 1/8 inch Allen wrench hole. I'll go ahead and attach it. When I turn this on, I'll stick it through the hole, and I'm going to spin it a little bit as it's going around, and then it will create that cone shape on the top. And when we go to remove it, we've got that cone shape that we're looking for. Besides adding a cone on a set screw, I like that I can take a threaded rod that I've cut and clean up the edge on it. And when we go to add a nut, it threads on easily. For each one of these set screws, I paid about 65 cents a piece to do the project. If you wanted to make this even cheaper, buy a threaded rod. This is a 1/4 inch threaded rod. We'll first start off by making the cone head on the end of our bolt. I'll go ahead and add a 1/4 inch nut to the end. I'll put it in my vise and I'll cut it off. Here we go. We made the exact same thing for probably a dime, maybe 15 cents, with a cone shape head on it. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments. Let me know if this is something that you might make in the future.